Speaking of comedy, who do you admire? Who'd you grow up with? Who were the ones that you loved?
George Carlin. I mean, George Carlin was always the one that I adored, even when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when everybody was clean, he was dirty.
Mm-hmm.
When everybody went dirty, he went clean. I tried to reach out to him because, you know, a little starstruck, and I got as far as Ross Davis. If you ever look at any of the HBO specials, you know, that George did, look at the very end. It says special assistant to George Carlin, Ross Davis.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually ROS, one S. He was my mentor. Told me flat out, he goes, if I ever find out you're using me to get to George, we're done.
Shade isn't a place you hide. It's where you pause, where you think, where real work happens. Quietly, creatively, and authentically. No slides, no filters. Just candid conversation about a story worth telling. It's not about villains. This is where brand builders, creatives, and storytellers come to share the stories they usually don't tell in pitch decks or press releases. It's about the people who work behind the scenes, challenge the obvious, bend the rules, or build unforgettable brands. This is
Shady Characters.
Oh, I do get, there's a parade I do in Santa Barbara, and they call it the largest equestrian parade.
Oh, interesting. And they also don't have motors.
No, they do pull and floats.
Okay.
So they call it the largest equestrian, and some of us used to call it the largest equestrian parade on the West Coast. But you know, now we have maybe 200.
Is it bigger than
horses.
Swallows Day?
There's double the horses.
Oh man!
Wow. Yeah. So how did you become the president of the Fiesta Association?
I started out. I'm a comedian, and I got approached to announce for parades.
You just weren't very good at that, so you decided to do parades.
It
was a backup plan.
I've seen him at the Improv. So I started announcing for parades.
Yeah.
And just, you know, and then I was chairman of the board for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, which was pretty heavy. And
that is not very funny.
And somebody came, and there you got a comedian who's the chair, and I would also host all their events and throw a little bit of humor in there because it was really dark.
Yeah.
Not the humor, but the whole. And then
dark humor doesn't go over well in that crowd.
And then somebody approached me and said, "You want to join the Fiesta Association?" I'm thinking, well, that could be like therapy for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I joined, and within a couple of months, the Fiesta Association was the reason for my therapy. It was an interesting, dysfunctional, eclectic bunch, but we managed to pull it all together. And I never asked to be president.
Yeah,
it just organically happened. And
yeah, the cream rises to the top, so they say.
Yeah, either that or everybody runs. And the last idiot standing. Where'd everybody go? Wait, it's election night?
It was just a job that no one else wanted.
That's basically it. Well, you know, especially in the first quarter of the year, that's when we get crazy.
Uh-huh.
And by the time end of February, March rolls around, it's 40, 50 hours a week. And that's all volunteer.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a commitment. It's not just me doing 40 or 50 hours. It's, 10 or 15 of us doing that. And then on parade day, it's me and 200 of my closest friends. And then we put the parade on.
How many years has the Swallows Day Parade been going?
This will be 66 for 2026.
Holy cow.
We at Thatch Creative this year proudly sponsored 2 porta potties.
Nice.
We're super excited.
What was your slogan?
They were really funny too.
They were
I can't
funny. I know. They might have had some shit innuendos.
Yeah,
Okay, so
they were very racy.
At least you've answered my 4-letter word question about the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. Feel free to throw them in as necessary.
Necessary.
So, yeah.
The porta potty sponsorship, and that's something that this town knows. I bitch about porta potties.
Yep.
In 2020, our porta potty cost was $8,000. In 2025, it was $18,000 for less porta potties.
Yeah.
So the porta potty sponsorship helped subsidize them.
I remembered what one of them was. Here for when you realize it wasn't just a fart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See,
the other one was
we
we take this shit seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, that one I wouldn't. That one we couldn't put up. But because it has to be apolitical and it can't be any cuss words because all it takes is one person to complain, and then the program's derailed. But mine was. My suggestions were like, this porta potty sponsored by the Smith family. Go in peace.
Yeah.
And just kind of do a double entendre, do something clean, family friendly. That's what we've been pushing the Swallows Day is to be family friendly.
Yeah.
The last couple of years, we've seen more strollers with actually kids in them, not a 6-pack of beer.
Yeah.
Not a margarita cooler.
That's been our goal. Get more kids out.
I did like the Swallows Inn. I saw their porta potty sponsorship said redneck kissing booth.
Yes.
I thought that was good.
That was a good
I
one.
like that one. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, that gave us about $3,000.
Oh yeah, nice.
I mean, this parade was $300,000 this year.
Yep.
So every $100 donation, every $100 porta potty sponsor, everything helps.
And you're telling me the city doesn't pay for this thing?
Oh no, the city kicked in over $100,000
Yeah,
this year.
Uh-huh.
And then we have to raise about 200, about 150 in cash, another 50 in kind.
Yep.
But we did it. Thank God for all of our sponsors. They were amazing.
Yep.
And our beer sales.
Okay.
Now, flip of the coin, the downside of being family friendly is your beer sales go down. You know, dad has one beer because he's got the kids. He doesn't have 6. But still, you know, we have a deal with a distributor. They take care of us, and they give us kind of an in-kind donation. And that's our single biggest fundraiser. The Taste of San Juan is our second biggest fundraiser.
Okay. Very cool. So 9 years ago, you find yourself a part of the Fiesta Association. You're thrust into the spotlight here. You become president. What's your first initiative as president here? What have you been able to? What do you feel like your thumbprint is on the most in your term?
On the first term and the second term was cementing our relationship with the city and the county and the state officials. Anybody who can make your life miserable,
Yep.
you want on your side, plain and simple. So we started inviting the county inspectors to our meetings.
Sure.
You know, just tell us what we have to do. The city and the county used to meet with us every 2 weeks, starting in November, right up until parade day. You know, fast forward to 3 or 4 years later, we meet 3 times. Once in January, once in February, once in March. January, this is what we're going to do. February, this is what we got done. March, this is what we still have to get done. And everybody's there.
But at this point, it's a well-oiled machine.
It is.
Everyone understands the expectations. They know the flow.
And the key to success, at least in this, because it is a major endeavor, is to surround yourself with people that are way smarter than you, and then get out of their way, help them do their job, and then sit back and let everybody tell you what a great job you did.
It went over so great this year. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's like, you did a great job, Jim.
It was difficult.
Yeah, but you know, I've got amazing people around me. I've got a core group of about 60 now.
Wow.
That are volunteers that come to every meeting.
When you join Fiesta Association and you pay your dues, do they give you the assless chaps when you or those you pay extra for those?
Depending on your appearance and your willingness, that's a private ceremony that happens later.
Yeah.
And we do sell tickets to that. It's our third biggest
Here's your
fundraiser.
boots, spurs, and your assless chaps.
No, but you guys have cool outfits. You can tell the Fiesta Association members when you see them. You guys have a vibe to you.
We're exactly like the red hat ladies, only different. Black and white outfits, black vest, white blouse, black pants, black cowboy hat.
Yep.
We relax the restrictions on the black cowboy hat, mostly for the ladies. Sometimes, you know, pink
Yep.
looks better on them than a black hat, but and especially for the kids, the junior dignitaries, you know, they want a pink hat. What am I going to do? Tell an 11-year-old girl no?
Yeah.
Not today, kid.
Yeah, and we wear them to our meetings.
Yeah.
I was telling you earlier, there's a lot of people in this town that don't recognize me unless I'm dressed like that.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. I'll be sitting at Ricardo's and somebody will come by and go, "Oh, hey."
Yeah.
Didn't recognize me without the pajamas, right?
It's like Zorro. You know, you got your you take your mask off.
Take the mask off. So we've got a good crew. They join the Fiesta Association. It's a nominal fee just to be a member.
Yeah.
You don't have to join to be a volunteer day of, and we definitely need people to volunteer. But what the membership does is it gives you voting rights to vote who the board of directors is. So they can get rid of me at any time.
Gotcha.
You know, just make sure that you've paid your membership, and then after you've volunteered for 3 events, you get the cool badge.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't sell those. The only way to get it is to be a vetted volunteer.
Yep.
I love that the Fiesta Association is a whole association around parties.
It's the party planning committee.
And that's actually why I got involved, because it was event planning and party planning, but it's also party planning and moderation. You know, because you don't want the sloppy drunks. You don't want people embarrassing you. And the fact that a lot of these are city-sponsored events, we're a de facto representative of the city and the city council at large, city management, and the last thing you want to do is embarrass them, and also the county sponsoring. And individual businesses, so they got their logo out there and they're giving us $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000, and we have some people acting like fools. You know that
You want that money next year? Yeah, it better run smooth.
and we don't want to tarnish their name.
Yeah. So you have the honor of bestowing some kind of cool titles, right? You have You have a grand marshal every year. You have a citizen of the year.
Well, the Citizen of the Year is San Juan Capistrano.
Yep.
It's run by past Citizens of the Year.
Very cool. Which you were a citizen of the year.
I was.
Yeah.
It was, of course, Murphy's Law. I was secretly named 2020 Citizen of the Year. I never knew about it, and then the pandemic hit, and it got canceled.
Oh.
But the other thing is, I'm also the MC for the event.
Yeah.
Is at the
So you get to
installation
announce your own name.
Well, I brought somebody up. I brought Kathy Hooper up, and she runs the organization, and she announced, and it was just funny because 2021 I got it.
Yep.
And it's funny because some of my certificates say 2020 and 2021, so I put them up on my wall, and it looks like I was Citizen of the Year for 2 years. in a row.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for them to change it. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I can live with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so
I could just see you up there like giving it to yourself too. As a comedian, I bestow the greatest honor of the city to myself. I would like to thank myself for nominating myself.
it was one of the times in my life that I was actually speechless because I was shocked. I wasn't even paying attention. She was up there talking, and I'm making notes about what I have to do next. And then I hear her say something about being a mediocre comedian. And I went,
That's gotta be me.
And I went, what? Huh? And then she said my name, and I'm just like, I was flabbergasted.
Congratulations. That's a big deal.
It was huge.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
He's by far the most important person we've ever had on the show. I just want to say this is a huge honor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is our first one, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys got to raise the bar a little bit.
But
he found me on the side of the road saying, we'll do podcasts for food.
But you guys do, Fiesta Association does have, there's a Mr. Fiesta.
Well, we have a Senior San Juan and a Ms. Fiesta. So those are voted on by the members. So people.
So you have a way to honor a bunch of citizens here in San Juan,
and then we also get a couple of kids. We usually pick a different school every year and ask them to, or the boys and girls clubs, nominate 2 kids that are philanthropic, that get along with their friends, they're potential leaders, they're academically good, and they're pleasant to be around.
Yeah.
And then there are junior dignitaries.
Yep.
So they get free admission to everything. We give them a clothing allowance so the parents don't have to eat the cost of the costumes. And then they get a free ride in the carriage.
Very cool.
On parade. And then we have a teen ambassador. We just started that a couple of years ago. So we can reach out to the teenagers, trying to get them to come in and volunteer or just get involved in the community. Because it's all about volunteerism. This whole thing is all put on by volunteers. There's nobody paid other than the vendors that we have to actually.
That says a lot, right? Because that means people have to be pretty passionate about something in order to volunteer that many hours into something, right? So, I mean, that says a lot about your organization then.
Well, they have to get something out of it. First, it has to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not fun, we're not doing it. People have so many choices. There's so many different ways to volunteer. Or you can just stay home and watch YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to find a way to keep it interesting, keep it fun, keep it moving, and they get something out of it. More than just civic pride, but it's. I tell them sometime during the day, like we had 60,000 people here this year.
Wow.
I go, sometime throughout the day, I know you're running around like mad people, but just stop. Just stop for 30 seconds and look around and just say, behold what I have created.
Yeah.
And then get back to work.
I got to say, my family, I mean, it's our favorite day of the year in the city, right? Like it's something that we look
I can
forward
back
to
him up. Like this is like
time. It is so fun.
It should be called Burgers Swallows Day.
Yeah,
we go along those lines because this
we get very invested in this thing, right? My kids, like as you've seen, my kids had an engagement with you before I even knew you, and I think it's probably 3-4 years ago now. You were emceeing at is that the main?
That's the TV booth. We have 11 announcer stations. That's the TV booth. Yeah, and I go out in the crowd before the parade or during the gaps, which we try to avoid having any gaps, but sometimes stuff happens. Just to keep the crowd going, because at any time there's 5,000 or 6,000 people in that corner. Yeah, and I have these little Swallows bracelets that we have, and I ask stupid trivia questions.
Really, really hard trivia questions that my 4-year-old at the time couldn't, or she answered eventually. Yeah. But yeah, I think you were standing roughly 50 feet from the entrance to the mission, and you asked her to point out where the mission was.
She got it right.
She got it right. She won a bracelet. Yeah.
She did. Well, but what I didn't know, because I do that every year, I didn't know there was a photographer just, 20 feet away that caught that picture. Yeah. And it's an iconic picture for me. Yeah. Because I'm down on one knee. Your older daughter had already got a bracelet. Yep. I had just asked your youngest daughter if she wanted a bracelet and she got so excited, she started moving her fists together like that. And I got the bracelet in my hand. She's doing this, and that's the picture that they snapped. And I put it up on Facebook, and I said, if anybody ever wonders why I do this stuff, why I subject myself to this torture, this picture sums it up.
Yeah.
And it's hanging in the Swallows.
Yeah. Well, that's very cool.
And at my mom's house.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's proud mom moment.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Yeah. That does sum it up though, right? Like, you guys, your goal here is to make this a family friendly event. When you first started becoming involved in this, was there a wave where it wasn't a family friendly event?
The Swallows Parade for decades had a reputation of being a drunk fest.
I see.
So there was, and then with COVID and them allowing the alcohol on the streets, that was a hard thing to overcome. But we wanted to get it down to where we had no arrests, no drunken public, no incidents of violence.
Yeah.
That was the thing. We don't want, there's stories about the sheriff's department bringing buses in, the night before and staging them for all the arrests we were going to make. And we just, we just wanted to get away from that. We wanted the drunk aspect of it taken out.
Yeah.
And I do 6 parades a year, and I'm trying to get that in all of the parades. Let's get drinking has its place, but not on the back of a horse.
Sure.
And get the alcohol out. You remove that element of danger. And a lot of people don't realize you can get a DUI on a horse. It carries the same penalties as if you're getting a DUI in your motor vehicle. So they don't realize that. They just think, oh, I'm riding my horse, I'm having a beer. That's a no-no in the state of California.
Yeah.
That's a huge no-no. Nobody really enforces it. But on a parade, I ask PD or the sheriff's department, if you see somebody, if we ask them to stop drinking and they won't stop drinking, please arrest them.
Yeah.
You can let them go a couple blocks away, but all you got to do is let everybody else see that this guy just got popped.
It's getting serious.
It's just the spook of it all. Yeah.
Drunk riding, and his horse got impounded.
Yeah. Oh, that's fascinating. So having been involved now for so long, where do you see the future of the Swallows Day Parade going?
Well, we used to have 500-600 horses. San Juan is growing rapidly.
Yep.
There's not a lot of grass left. There's not a lot of places that we can stage horses.
Yep.
So it's kind of capped at 200, 250.
Okay.
If there's any, I'm down to one field. And if they ever decide to put a school up there or an apartment building, it'll go down to a 50-horse parade.
Yeah, it's not like you can, when it comes parade day, that you can just put them in a parking lot, right?
Right. Well, we could. I mean, I do another parade where they do that, but it's just it's not fun for the horses too.
Yeah.
So it's and we'll grow. I mean, there's going to be a lot of construction downtown over the next couple of years.
Sure.
I've been working with the developer, and we have Plan A, B, and C. And the developer, Onquist Development, has been very helpful.
Yeah.
And
Supportive of seeing this thing.
just coming up with ways. It's like, okay, I need 300 parking places. Inside the road closures. What can we do? Well, he's building a parking structure. So in 20, I don't think it's going to be ready in 26. We thought it would be, but 27, we can use the parking structure.
I see.
And then he's got the other lot on the other side. So I need places for logistics. I need places to put people in their cars. Volunteers, I got 200 volunteers. Where are they going to park? We have shuttle service. We have 60,000 people coming. Only 12 of them are coming on the train. 12,000. The rest of them are in vehicles somehow. E-bike parking. Where are we going to
parking on the other side of the freeway and walking over for a lot of them?
There is, and the city has done shuttles. The trolley, we do shuttles. So I mean, we're always trying to figure out how can we pack more people in and then keep it safe. Safety is number one, and then having fun is number two.
Yep. I like it. So how does your comedic background lend itself positively to this experience?
Finance is a lot of it. I've been doing comedy since 90.
Have you any favorite people that you've opened for? Like how far did you take this comedic career?
My goal, when I first started, of course, my goal was lofty, and then reality kicked in. My goal was to have my own show at the Irvine Improv, and I did that for 12 years, a monthly show, and I'd get 300 to 500 people in there on a Wednesday night.
Wow,
oh, that's awesome.
And then it forced me to write because obviously, you're up there every month, and I'd started bringing on more comics, and it turned into a very successful event for me. COVID kind of killed everything. COVID kind of killed a lot of comedy, and then it's just now starting to come back. But now it's like I did my thing.
Yeah.
Now I'm just doing other people's shows, and so I still go out a couple times a month and do shows. But I also don't want to drive anymore.
Yeah.
Are you writing for other people too, or is it really just for yourself still?
Every now and then. I've written for people in the past. There's only one who I can mention because he died, but that's Burt Reynolds.
Oh, cool.
I wrote like 75 jokes for him to deliver at roasts and things like that.
Yeah.
And then I've written for a few other comics, but that's not where my.
How does that work? So you say you can mention it because he's passed away. None of these other comics want to admit that they're not writing all their own jokes. Is that the deal?
I mean, Joan Rivers, she had a writing staff.
Yeah.
And she was pretty open about that. Jay Leno on the Tonight Show, before he got really big, he used to take joke submissions by fax.
Yeah.
You'd send him 10 jokes, and if you liked one of them, NBC would send you a check for $50. They used one of my jokes way back when, back in the 80s.
$50.
$50. I wrote a couple for NBC, and then I started punching up scripts.
Yep.
So they'd give me a script. They said, we need jokes, we need comedy, so I do that for money. But mostly I don't do as much comedy. I'm emceeing.
Yep.
I do MC a lot of corporate events, and I don't know if you saw on the sheet I sent you, I'm also a games master. Which
What's a games master?
I know.
Sounds
People pay me a lot of money to play games with children. And I've been trying to retire from this for years.
Do you have to wear a costume when you play these games?
I have. I've done pirates and things, but you know what? I'm going to be 65 years old. At what point does the creep factor enter into this? And so a couple of years ago, I retired. It was after COVID. It was convenient. I was doing company picnics.
Yeah.
And I'd be booked every Saturday and Sunday from April to Labor Day, just constantly, from San Diego to Malibu to San Bernardino, Riverside, all over Southern California. And then it's just for everybody. I mean, I even got the tuna trifecta. I did Star-Kissed, Chicken of the Sea, and then when I got Bumblebee, I was so happy.
Cha-ching.
That was it.
These jokes write themselves.
I know, but it actually was true. When Bumblebee called and they wanted me, I'm like, wow, that's the tuna trifecta right there. I got all three.
Yeah.
I did one for, I think it was Bose, and they said you don't need to bring your PA, and they had this wall. I mean, I felt
wall of sound.
I felt like I was at a Kiss concert or something.
Yeah.
So it's like
Got the big Marshall amp wall.
Except it was all Bose.
It was all Bose.
Yeah, it was just massive. But anyway, so I tried to retire from that, and some of my clients said, no, we still want you.
Yeah.
So I'm still doing them. I did one last weekend. I've got 2 more in September.
Wow.
They're 5-hour events, and they're company picnics. Companies hire me to entertain the employees and their families for 5 hours.
It financially has to be worth it if you keep going with this, right?
My price is now almost quadrupled what it was because I wanted to retire.
Yeah.
And now you don't care. It's like, I'm just going to overinflate it.
Well,
we'll see how much they really want me to come back.
My body can withstand the 5 hours. That's no problem. It's the setup and tear down that's a killer.
Yeah.
So I bought a golf cart, and I got a little trailer now, and I'm hauling the golf cart to these events, and it probably look like a dork, but I open up my truck, take my PA system out, put it on the
golf cart.
On the golf cart, drive it 20
down the
feet.
park.
It's just carrying all that stuff.
Yeah.
Wouldn't a wagon be easier?
You got to pull it. and I have had the dollies and the wagons, but you put 100, 150 pounds and you're dragging this thing over grass.
Yeah.
And that's one I just did last weekend. It was like 200 feet to my truck.
Yeah.
And I've got 20 trips. It's like, no, I can't do this anymore. So the golf cart comes into play. But yeah, I'm getting booked into 2026 now. So I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm going to do this until I have a heart attack and scar a bunch of children.
Got any good impressions that go with those characters?
Impressions?
Yeah, like.
I don't do impressions.
Okay.
Not well. I mean,
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But it's just funny. I mean, the kids, 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids, I put them on the mic. Remember Art Linklater? Kids say the darndest things. And they do, and they're absolutely hilarious. If you ever go to the concerts in the park that San Juan puts on, I do games for like a half hour before the band comes on. I do it earlier, but there's no kids.
Yeah.
So we do water balloon toss and some limbo and water games. And I put the kids on the mic, and they're absolutely hysterical.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. So anyway, I'm doing that, doing the corporate MCs. I'm still doing comedy. And then a couple of years ago, I started my own parade company. I've been a volunteer for Parade for 20 years for parades. And one day a city called me and said, who do you hire for your parade coordinator? And I said, hire.
You're talking to him.
Hire. There's an opportunity. And so, I got 3 parades up north. And for my 3rd year now, I'm doing the Riverside Indio President's Day Parade.
Fantastic.
And,
I was thinking about that. It does come, I mean, your skill set now is pretty unique, right? In that a lot of people you don't think through all these logistical details that you need to do for having a parade, right? So the fact that you've figured it out over the last 20 years has put you in kind of this interesting niche where now you can take the guesswork out of it for cities that want to have their own parade, right? And go, hey, call Jim. He can make all this stuff happen. He knows all the players and
I've got a skilled workforce. I mean, take all the volunteers from San Juan that do the Swallows Day parade. It's like, how would you like to go up north and do a parade and get paid?
Yeah.
You know, hotel, train ride, pay, food.
Is this the Santa Barbara one you were talking about? And then Indio, do they have it in that little old town?
No, it's
where the
right there by the fair. So it's on Miles Avenue.
Okay.
So it starts basically on Miles, goes to Oasis all the way down to 111. They close 111 for that parade.
Ah, very cool.
But even still, it's a smaller parade, but I get 180 horses in that.
Yeah.
And 2,000 participants. It's smaller than Swallows Day parade, but only by a bit.
Yeah.
When is that one?
That one is President's Day, so I think it's February 17th,
February.
16th or 17th next year.
So all this days parade still has kind of a soft spot in your heart, but
it always will.
Yeah.
It always will. That's what got me into it, and I'll stay as long as they'll have me. Our board is elected for 2-year terms, and every year I take a 1-year term. So if you guys want to get rid of me, it's election time.
Yeah,
now's the time.
Yeah,
I'll meet all these new members that are joining at the membership mixer, and you're the president. Yeah, you want to be president? It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work, and it's gotten easier for me though because I've done it for so long, and I know I can pick up the phone and I can say I need help with this or I need help with that. So and a lot of it's in my head. I started documenting it, actually writing a parade manual.
Yep.
And I'm doing that for other cities too. Just hand you a book. This is how you put on the Santa Barbara Solstice Parade.
Yep.
And hand them a book. I'm doing the same thing with Swallows, so that in the event there's a brain drain. We're all aging out.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to recruit some of your young guys here. It's like, wait, he looks like he's in his 20s. I can get
he could do this for 40 years.
There's a lot of life left in that
I can
one.
get 50 years out of him.
Yeah.
But, you were talking about marketing and branding and things like that. And we talked a little bit. I used to have a company way back when where I had 100 employees and 4 locations, and it died a horrible death after about 10 years. I grew too fast. I got too much in debt. I didn't watch the money and things like that. Spent too much on advertising, marketing, stuff like that. So my mantra has been to try and do as much guerrilla marketing as possible. And that's where a lot of the volunteering stuff comes in. So if you're and say you're announcing at the parade, you have your promo shots there, and you're out there in front of 10,000 people getting free marketing for you.
Yeah.
Because even though you're volunteering and you're pushing the parade, you are the guy that's doing that. So we try to do that. When I was doing comedy, my first year as a comic, first of all, every comic in their first year, they suck. And I was no different.
Right?
You come out of the shoot being dirty, and because it makes your friends laugh. And there's very few people that don't suck their first year, first 5 years out. And I'm like, that's back in the days when you had to send out a VHS tape and a headshot to all the clubs.
That's how you get booked.
Then.
Yeah.
And you're a new comic with 10 minutes. They're not even going to look at you, But so I needed to find a way that I would get attention. So I got into radio. I bought the time on KORG AM 1190. And now it's like Voice of Korea radio, I think. But
I could see you having both of you guys having good radio voices.
Yeah, we have the face for radio.
I invited comics on, and next thing you know, the Improv, the Comedy Store,
Everyone's
they're contacting me.
door.
They're sending the headliners, or they're treating me like a VIP. And so it's like, why rush through the front door with everybody else when you got a way to come in the back door? You can come in the back door and get attention without saying, "Hey, everybody, look at me." I mean, we all do that. We all do the "Hey, everybody, look at me." You just don't want to get caught being the guy going, "Hey, everybody, look at me."
Yeah.
I had a comedy show at the Improv. I had a lady in her 80s had a heart attack and just dropped dead.
Oh my gosh.
In the audience, and I got the proverbial, "Is there a doctor in the house?"
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought I'm like, weird heckler.
Yeah.
And I looked down and you block the spotlight, and there's a lady on the ground.
No.
Someone's doing CPR on her.
Yeah.
So anyway, happy story. She lived. And then she loved one of the guys that I brought on the show.
Yeah.
So I talked to her daughter, found out that, she's in the hospital. I said, hey, I want to bring him by so she can see him. She goes, that would be sweet. Well, mercenary bastard that I am, I also called the Orange County Register.
Yeah.
Brought a photographer along and a reporter.
Yeah, get some coverage out of it, right?
Got a huge article on this lady who's a sweetheart. She's still alive today and still comes to a lot of my shows. And meeting this comic that she loved.
Sure.
I'm not in there at all.
Yeah.
But it was my name. It was my show. It was the Irvine Improv. Everybody loved it because that was free press right there, tied to a human interest story.
And it's a feel-good story.
But I'm also doing, hey, everybody, look at me. I'm advertising my show. I'm advertising the improv.
Yeah.
But it wasn't about me. It was about them. But you get the
but genius guerrilla marketing is what you're saying.
The collateral collateral benefits as opposed to damage.
Yeah. Did part of you hope that the joke had actually killed so that the punchline would have been there?
And she actually dropped down in my set.
Oh man.
I didn't see it because those lights are so blinding. You can only see the first couple rows.
Yeah.
But apparently she just keeled over and fell off the chair.
Oh.
And there was a nurse practitioner in the audience that just immediately started doing CPR on her, and she's like 95 now.
Wow.
This happened probably 6 or 7 years ago. But yeah, I did think I killed a guy. I was in Temecula doing a winery tour because I needed the money. And there was a guy in the front row had an asthma attack right in the middle. He started laughing. I'm like, this guy's really getting into it. No, he's not laughing. He's coughing. And he's like, oh, he's really getting into it. And he's just like, I'm like, hilarious. I think something's wrong. Yeah. We had the paramedics come out.
Yeah.
And he wound up staying for the rest of the show, but we kind of toned it down a little bit.
You didn't bust out the A-tier stuff anymore? You didn't want to kill him?
Actually, all my stuff's D-level, so all my stuff's self-deprecating. It is, because, there's seriously a lot wrong with me, so I've got a lot to work with, but it's pretty safe.
Got a lot of material.
Constantly getting new. I can't believe I did that. All right, well, this is why I did that. But,
Excuse me, can I talk to Roz, please? Who are you?
He's like, hey, Jim, it's Ross. I'm like, Ross? Yeah, Ross. Ross. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who's so speaking of comedy, who do you admire? Who'd you grow up with? Who were the ones that you loved?
George Carlin. George Carlin was always the one that I adored, even when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
When everybody was clean, he was dirty.
Mm-hmm.
When everybody went dirty, he went clean. And I tried to reach out to him because, a little starstruck. And I got as far as Ross Davis. If you ever look at any of the HBO specials, that George did, look at the very end. It says special assistant to George Carlin, Ross Davis. Mm-hmm. It's actually ROS, one S. He was my mentor for like 8 years. He told me flat out, he goes, if I ever find out you're using me to get to George, we're done. I'm like, no, I'm happy here. But it was all email. So for like 6 years, I thought it was a chick.
Yeah.
ROS.
Yeah.
I was thinking Roz. I thought it was like Rosalind or something. Until one day he called me, and I had to be so cool because I wasn't expecting a man to call me. And so it was. He guided me through a lot and helped me find my voice. Yeah, that was good. And Jay Leno one time critiqued me and gave me some advice, and I followed that. Mm-hmm. So, but at that point, I didn't want to be. I never wanted to be on a sitcom. I cannot act at all. Much respect to people that can act. I can. If the role calls for a guy who can't act, I'm your guy. But finding the voice, that's the hardest thing. And I suppose it's the same in business, is finding your voice.
Sure.
Without being cliche.
Yep.
It just takes a while, and it took me probably 10, 12 years, 15 years until I found my voice. And now I'll do shows where sometimes for 20 minutes, I don't even do jokes.
Yeah.
Just talking to the crowd, talking to the audience. If you have a hot audience, that's not my thing, but if I can do it with a hot audience, because you have your voice, you know who you are, the jokes just come. They just come. And sometimes you cheat. Sometimes it's a joke you wrote 20 years ago. Somebody says something and you triggers that joke you wrote 20 years ago. You work the punchline into the conversation. Everybody goes, oh, he's so fast. It's like, no, actually, no. I remember writing that at Denny's at 2 o'clock in the morning in Pacoima.
So we're getting towards the end of this. Is there anything that you were hoping that we would be talking about on this that we haven't touched on yet? We can bring it back.
No. I think you guys I could quote a famous politician. Nothing comes to mind.
Yeah.
But okay, so volunteer organizations are tough. I've been in charge of several through my lifespan, and one of the things I tell comics this too. They don't listen to me, but stay out of politics. Just stay out of politics. Stay out of religion.
You realize you're sitting next to a guy that's trying to get into city politics.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Yeah.
But see, that's different though.
Yeah.
You stay out of okay, I should have drilled down. Stay out of political opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, on my board at Fiesta, I've got Democrats, Republicans, and Libertarians, and Independents, and people that will never vote. You know, we try to keep it to the point where we don't talk about politics. You can get that everywhere.
Yep.
You can talk, and we don't talk about religion. You can get that everywhere. This is kind of a safe zone where we don't talk about that. We talk about community events, and all the volunteer groups that I work with, we try to adopt that same philosophy. It's like, I don't care, don't.
Yeah.
Just,
But we're all coming together for one unified purpose, which
exactly.
is, yeah.
Because, contrary to popular belief, most people don't suck.
Yeah.
Most people are cool.
Sure.
It's the loudest ones who suck.
Yeah.
And the loudest ones get the ears and the eyeballs. So most people are they just want to live their lives, and they want to do something cool. They want to take care of their kids. They want to give back to the community. They want to feed the homeless guy. They want to do something. And those are the people that we attract. Those are the people that, hey, you can't give me 40 hours a week. That's great. Can you give me an hour a month?
Yep.
So we have opportunities for everybody.
That's an interesting take, and I really appreciate that you said that. And you talked a little bit about branding and marketing for business, but you're running a volunteer organization as the president of the Fiesta Association that also has to attract. So in a way, Swallows Day is kind of your biggest marketing thing that you got going. What about Fiesta Association is so intriguing that you can allow people to get so passionate about it, you think, and bring those people together?
It goes back to when I said, take a moment and say, behold what I've created.
Yep.
When people are saying that was an awesome parade, that was an awesome event, the Mercado was great, the bands were great, we had such a great time, they can take personal pride in that.
Yep.
And they like everybody likes to be a part of a group or be part of something that's bigger than them.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to bring people together. Again, all ages. I've got people in their 30s, probably the youngest is in their 30s, all the way up until their mid-90s.
Yep.
They're members of Fiesta, and they come to the meetings once a month now because we're out of season. But I've got one tonight, and there'll probably be easily 60 people there.
Yeah.
On a Wednesday night.
Yep.
You get to create something. You don't have to worry about somebody throwing their politics in your face or their politics in your face. Nobody's going to castigate you. I hate to use the word safe space because that's been bastardized over recent years, but there is some truth in that. People want a place where they can feel comfortable, where they can express their opinion, as long as it's not in the taboo subjects.
Yep.
And everybody gets a voice, and it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to act on the voice, but we'll hear them out.
Yep.
But it's doing something for the community, giving back to the community.
Yep.
And again, I'm trying to stay away from the cliches, but my wife says I'm a serial volunteer.
Yep.
And people always tease me and say, you just can't say no. Well, I say no plenty of times. But I volunteer and do this stuff. It's selfish. It's the reasons I do it are very selfish. Is I get a high out of it. I feel good about it, and I'm doing it for me. It just so happens that, we raised $20,000 for your organization because I did your auction.
Yeah.
I got to go home that night high as a kite because I felt that I did something cool.
Absolutely.
I did something for somebody else. So my reasons for volunteering are very selfish. And
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get community service. And
Sure.
like I said, when you took my mugshot over there, I've never had that experience before. That was the first.
So could we ask then, so what is Jim Taylor's legacy then?
Oh God. I never thought about that.
Because I think we're going down a road, and I'm trying to go down a road, and I think you're being very humble about this self-serving volunteerism that you got going. But in a way, your legacy is really the heart. One of the heartbeats of this community has been leading the Swallows Day Parade now for 9 years, right? And so there is something really beautiful to say about like what Jim Taylor's legacy is going to be received at. This parade's been around 66 years. You're setting it up to run for another 66 plus years, you hope, right? And
hopefully.
Yeah.
One of my things is I just wanted to be remembered.
Yep.
Like everybody else. The funny thing happened. My oldest daughter was talking to a friend, and she said, "Oh, I got to show a picture of my dad. Hang on, let me Google him."
Yep.
And this girl goes, "You can Google your dad?" And it's like, well, here's him with this cowboy thing on it. Here's him at
Yeah.
the Improv. Here's him at the Coach House. Here's him at a suicide. Here's him emceeing a corporate event. It's like,
Well, let's hope it's not the mugshot picture that.
actually, if you give me a copy of that, that's going on my Facebook tonight.
It'll get out there. Yeah.
I totally want that. That'll be awesome. So yeah, get remembered. I mean, that's and I'd like I'm in a couple of time capsules. Mm-hmm. You know, so Dana Point's time capsule, San Juan's time capsule. So when my oldest grandson is in his 50s, he's going to go down to Dana Point, and I'm going to be long dead, and they're going to open up the time
This
capsule
thing open and pull something out from these.
There's
grandpa.
a letter from me to the I don't know, the 2060 president of Fiesta, and I'm bitching that we don't have flying cars right now because we were promised flying cars. But yeah, it's just like want somebody to be able to say my name. Now I happen to have a very common name. If you go on my Facebook, I have 10 Jim Taylors who are actually friends with me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the Google juice is not strong for your name.
No. So that's why you Google Jim Taylor comedian.
Yep. Awesome. Well, it's been a real honor getting to talk to you. You know, I said from my family, Swallows Day Parade is a really special day, right? And it's something that we've been blessed to be able to experience many times over. And I think that that's due in large part to the amazing work that your volunteer organization is doing, led by you as the president for the last 9 years. So thank you on behalf of my family. And I think the town of San Juan Capistrano is a better place because you're in it. And I'm really honored that you chose to spend some time with us here and be a Shady character.
Well, thank you for having me. Not a lot of people would.
Can we ask for one addition to the awards that you give out?
Okay.
San Juan's sexiest beard.
Well, we actually have the best
They have
existing beard.
the hairiest man contest.
Oh.
Yeah.
That one's different. We have the hairiest man where we actually shave them in January.
Yeah.
They can't shave until the week before the parade.
Yep.
Then the Wednesday before the
They
parade
come
at
back?
Swallows, they come back, and we have a couple of guys. We have one though. I mean, we shaved him, and 15 minutes later, he looked like a Wookiee. You know, he wins every year.
There's no competing. Keep competing with that.
And then we do best existing beard, best existing mustache, and it's 11 or 12 categories.
I think my baby beard doesn't qualify when you see what I'd be running against.